Good evening, ladies. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well tonight. Trying to stay warm. It is definitely a bit chilly out there tonight. Alrighty. We are going to get started here in about a moment. It is 7 o'clock. So those of you who have signed up for card class, hi Doris. Your first card should have blue and a bow in your envelope. Alrighty. We are going to begin. So this is the first card that we're going to make. And you're going to have a bow already pre-tied for you. You're going to have a little banner. This is from that Stylish Shapes from Stampin' Up. I absolutely love that die set. So we're going to set that aside. You're going to have 3 flowers that I stamped in Minc. So they're really, really light. And I did that purposely because I wanted, as we color them, to stay on that light side. You're going to have 3 circles. And then you're going to have a piece of pattern paper and then a piece of Night of Navy blue paper. Now, the pattern paper was from the December's product of the month. The February product of the month is another paper collection. It is amazing. So take a look at that. And if you have your bonus dollars, you still would have to spend the $75 to get the product of the month. Okay, let's begin. So your sentiment would be on the inside. If you're like, yeah, I really don't like that sentiment, you can put your project on top of that, and then just you would be reversing this. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to give my card base a nice crispy edge, and then we're going to put the pattern paper onto the Night of Navy paper. Now maybe you prefer the other side. That's totally up to you. This is your card. Oh my goodness. There we go. There we go. Now we're cooking. Okay, maybe not. I don't think I'm to the end. Nope, I am not. So you're going to center this inside that navy blue piece. And then we're going to place this to the first third of the card. Hi, Patty. Long time no chat. Okay, so we are going to place this at approximately 1/4 of an inch from the left-hand side, and then you're going to be up at about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. Okay, then we are going to place our 3 circles next. I do not know what's going on tonight with this adhesive. Why doesn't it want to work for me? Ay, ay, ay. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to place the center one on first. So I'm going halfway between the top and the bottom of the pattern paper. And I'm going to place that there. Then I'm going to place the second one below, and I'm going to allow it to drop below the other Night of Navy rectangle. And now I'm going to do the top one, and again, They're overlapping just a teeny tiny bit. And then I'm going to also let it go above that circle or above the rectangle. Okay, so there's our circles. Let's set this aside for a second. And we're going to color our flowers. I am going to start with the Coral Blends. I am going to use my medium Coral Blends and color in the flower. Now, if you don't have marker, you could use colored pencil. You could use any other type of marker. The beauty is this is all blues, so whatever color you choose, it's still going to look great. Maybe you're like, oh, I really want pink flowers. You can do that. Maybe you want red. Wouldn't that be pretty? Red flowers. Oh, that would be really lovely. Or maybe you're like, I think I want to leave my flowers the way they are. You can do that also. Yeah, looks like this is another marker I'm going to need to replace. Now, for those of you who do have the Tri-Blend Spectrum Noirs, Scrapbook.com does carry them, and they carry them individually. So you could pick up just the color that you would need to fix, to replace. I feel like something's brewing inside me, but I'm just keep on saying I'm not getting sick. I have way too much to do at work. I don't have time. All right, so I have colored all three of my flowers in with the medium coral. Now I'm going over it, just the outline of each of the lines with the dark. And then we will color the leaves. Yeah, the weather needs to start to cooperate here. The kids need to get outside. They are going a little stir crazy. Then again, so are the teachers. The kids really need to go outside. Okay. That is the coral. And now I'm going to bring in jade. And I'm going to use the light for jade, and I'm doing my leaves. So again, I'm doing the light first, and then I will go back over it with probably the medium or dark, just for the veining. Okay. Our cards for March are posted. They are masculine birthday cards. Okay, he sends me a message, but he knows I'm on with you ladies. Oh, I tell ya. Oh, well, it looks like this is another marker that needs to get replaced. When you can hear that little you know that is the clue. Like I was saying, our March cards are masculine birthday cards, and those are posted, so please pay attention to their due date. I believe many of you are already signed up and have prepaid for it. All right, now I'm going in I'm going to try the medium. Oh yeah, that'll totally work. And now I'm just outlining. Okay, that's one. Let's see. Yeah, this weather's just driving me crazy. And of course, my mom and stepdad are in Florida. They got there Monday. They had rain today. So I was like, oh, I don't feel bad for you at all. Considering we're getting snow again. Which means I will have snow shoveling to do at their house tomorrow. Okay, now we're going to put our flowers on, and I am using dimensionals or foam tape, whichever is your preference. And when I go to place these on to my card, I am going to alternate their direction. Let me show you. So this first one, I'm going to place where the leaves are to the right. My next one, I'm going to place where my leaves are to the left. And then the bottom, my leaves will be to the right again. That just kind of gives you a different presentation. Now we're going to do our little banner. Okay, let's do that next. And this was a pretty easy card, but I do like the concept of it, the circles. This would have been even pretty had I done these in squares to go with the rectangle. That would have looked very nice as well. Okay, I'm going to place the banner so the far right side of it is going to overlap two of my circles just by a teeny tiny little bit. Okay, so we're going to do that. Then you're going to bring in your bow. Now your bow might be a little longer than what is needed. I like to tie the bow while it's still on the spool. It just gives me a little more control. So I'm going to get myself a glue dot. I'm going to put the glue dot on the back of the flower, or back of the bow, right there in the center. And now I am going to kind of glue down the tails of the bow. Okay, oh, I should have made this a little smaller on that side. There we go. Oh, that's better. Much better. So now I'm going to get myself another glue dot. And this side, I'm going to put a glue dot right on the back of the tail, like that, but I am going to trim off a bit because I feel it's too long. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. On this side, I'm going to put another glue dot on the back side. Just like so. And again, I'm going to trim off this excess. Now I do have scissors that are just for my ribbons. And they're just from scrapbook.com again. And then these would be my regular ones from Stampin' Up. And that is our first card. Isn't that cute? You could put a little bit of stickles here or a little bit of clear shimmer brush, whatever you would like if you feel like, oh, it needs a little more something. Okay, so that is our first card. And we're going to mosey into our second card that looks like this. Okay, now this is more of a fun fold card. So let's open up this white piece, and in it you're going to find 3 silver gems. You're going to find a little piece that has the typewriter and a little, just a note. You're going to find a square that has been die cut and embossed. Don't let that fool you. Then we're going to have a piece of pattern paper, a smaller piece of pattern paper. You're going to have a white piece and then a piece of mist. And then we have our nice long piece here, which measures 4 1/4 by 11. And then I have it scored at 2 1/2 and then 6 3/4, which is what gives us these 2 pieces. Now, the first part that we need to do, let me open this up. We're going to build this piece first. So I'm going to set everything aside and we're going to build here. So we have a white piece and then this mist piece. So let's put our adhesive on the white. And I'm going to center this inside my piece of mist. Okay, center that on. Now we're going to take our striped piece and that is going to come to the right-hand side on the white. And I'm going to, let's see, how much am I coming in? So if I'm over here on the right-hand side, I'm going to bring my pattern paper piece over by about 1/4 of an inch from the outer edge. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now, this piece is going to get adhered to the center, to this middle section. So what I would do is actually put my adhesive here as opposed to on the back of this, just because I wouldn't want my adhesive to be too much and then it's overlapping and then it's coming out of the card, and I don't want that to happen. Okay, so I put my adhesive here in the center. Now I'm going to lay my mist piece and I'm going to center it from the left and the top and the bottom, giving it equal distance, but with some of this hanging over. So this card will fit in your regular envelope, but it is a little more of a pizzazz, so to speak. Then we're going to fold up the Hey Gorgeous. And then we're going to fold down that top section, which is now all white, and we are going to put this beautiful piece of pattern paper smack dab in the middle. Okay, so let's do that now. And I'm going to center this to the best of my ability without putting my head in the middle of the camera. Just like that. And let me bring this one over. See, and over time, it will flatten out. All right, and now we're going to put our embossed piece. I have it where it's going to be, the embossing would be at the bottom left. Maybe you're like, oh, I think I want it at the top. Or maybe you want it top right. Whatever is your choice, okay? Actually, I kind of liked it up in the top left. So I think that's the way I'm going to do this one. And this will be flat. And then we're going to color our typewriter. So now I'm going to center this. And when I was embossing this, all I did was I put my piece into the embossing folder on a diagonal. And I ran one at a time. Okay, let's bring in our typewriter, and now we're going to color this with colored pencils. So I'm just going to use my Spectrum Noir Colorist colored pencils, and I'm not quite sure what color I'm going to do. So let's see, what do we have? I think I'm going to go with the Vivid and the Bright. And let's see, I'm kind of liking this peacock green for the typewriter. And again, you know, I cannot talk and color at the same time. Just cannot do it. And again, you can use marker, you can use colored pencil, whatever is your preference. Maybe you want to use watercolored colored pencils and then smooth it out with either a blending brush or a shimmer brush. Can't believe I did two that needed to be colored. Sorry about that, ladies. And again, this video will be transferred over to the YouTube channel, probably over the weekend, maybe tomorrow, maybe tonight, I don't know. I have not done the other one yet, so I still need to do that too. Okay, next I'm going to bring in Orange Citrus, I think, to do some of these other parts so that it would tie back in with my peach. Okay, and I'm going to do the keys. I believe in the sample, it looks like I might have used a gray for some of it. Not quite sure. I think I did. So once you have it colored, you will fussy cut it out, because there was no dye that went with this set. Okay, and I think I'm going to bring a little bit of yellow to this section up here where the keys, you know, right where it would go dink, dink, dink. And they would come back up and hit up there. All right. Oh, I do have a gray. Okay, so let's put these away so I can grab the gray. Okay. I'm just going to lightly go over where the paper is. Sorry that the camera is wiggling on us. And then this section. And then I'm going to do the space bar and a little bit around the keys. Just like so. Okay, now we're going to cut it out. So now I'm going to bring in my other scissors. And this will be pop dotted, foam taped, whatever you would like to call it, dimensionalized. Okay. You can cut it as close as you wish. I like to kind of keep it close, but still with a little bit of a white border. Now for this little strap or the little thing, I'm not going to go up into this section. I'm just going to circle around and go right back down the bottom of the typewriter, just like that. So this is what I did. I left this little section alone. I didn't interfere with it. So now let's put some foam or some dimensionals on the back. Okay, let's push down. And we're going to put this to the bottom of our peach square, so bottom right. Okay, so just a note to say, hello, gorgeous, and then you could write your little message right here. Or you could also put a gift card right here if you wanted. Okay, let's put our gems next. I'm going to put my large gem, and I'm going to go to the right onto the peach, so it's kind of near the note right there. And then you're going to have two smaller ones, and those are going to go not on your fingers. There we go. So if I went here for my large, I'm going to come on a diagonal and I'm going to go up. I think I'll place one right there. And then I'm going to place the second one. Do I want to go above it? Below it? I think I'm going to go below on a diagonal. Okay, so I did my 1, 2, 3. And again, you could put a little bit of shimmer brush on this. You could even all this out with a shimmer brush. It's completely up to you how you want to finish that part off. But that is our second card for tonight. Isn't it cute? I do like the concept of this one because it really, I mean, when it's folded, you're like, oh, okay, it's just a regular A2 card. Well, it's really not. It's a little more on the fancy fold side. Okay, so that is card number 2. Let's mosey on to card number 3. Card number 3 are all these nice, bright, beautiful colors. Alrighty, you're going to have 3 sequin that are in a pink family. You're going to have a flower that has already been pre-stamped and pre-die cut for you, a leaf cluster, our words that say, hello, fabulous. You're going to have half of a circle, a small rectangular piece that we're going to dovetail. We're going to have a square piece of capri, and then we have a piece of pattern paper that's a very light gray. Now for this one, I designed this card, and there was no sentiment on the inside. So this, you can put your own sentiment on or write your own message here. And also this card, I chose to do it the 4 1/4 by 11, but it's scored at 5 1/2, and I'm having it open like this. So just slightly different. And if you're like, oh, I think I want to do it this way, it should still all work. Okay, so we're going to start with our gray piece, and that's going to go on and centered right onto the base. Okay, so let's center this just like that. Okay, next I am going to place the blue square. This was capri. And I'm going to place this to the right-hand side. So I'm going to have a small border on the right, the bottom, and the top. And I have a larger space here. Now I'm not going to press all the way down because I do need to wiggle this circle underneath this spot just by a little. Now if you like the other side, the polka dotted side, please go right ahead and use that side. Okay, so I'm just going to wiggle. I think it's set just a little too long. All right, I need to turn just a hair here because I need to wiggle this underneath. There, I've wiggled it there. You know what? This one I am going to build this direction just so we can see. I want to see how it's going to look. Now I'm going to take that cute, pretty polka dot piece, and I am going to dovetail that. So I'm going to go right in the center, snip. I'm going to cut from the bottom to that center spot. Now I like to flip mine over and again do from that bottom to that center. Just like that. Okay, so if we're doing it this way, let's see, would I want that there or would I still want it here with the word? Ooh. All right, I'm going to try it there. I'm going to put fabulous here. I'm just going to do my placing to see what I think I would like. That's not bad. I kind of like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do for this one. So I am going to put that dovetailed piece down first, and that is going to be flat. There we go. And let's place that here. I'm putting mine at the top. And again, it is at the top if I have it going horizontal. My Hello Fabulous is going to be on with some foam. I'm going to bring it a little bit higher up, like that. And then I'm going to allow my flower to just touch. So that is going to get some foam as well. But the leaf will not. The leaf is going to remain flat. So before I put that down completely, yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now I can peel the backing off of the foam. And I'm just letting the flower touch the top of that H. They're just touching ever so slightly. Now I'm going to put my adhesive on the back of the sprig, the leaf sprig. And I'm going to tuck this underneath my flower. Just like that. And then we're going to put our sequin on next. I'm going to start with the large. Let's see. I think I'm going to go to the left of the H of hello. And then I have a small. And I'm going to go right below on a diagonal. And then I'm going to do the other small. This time I'm going to go up. I think I'm going to go on this side. Just like that. So here it is, both directions, depending on which way you chose to do it. Yeah, these colors, they just feel so warm, welcoming, and just cheery, which is sometimes that's the kind of a card you need to send to someone, is something just cheery, right? So that one is perfect. Okay, and now we're going to get ready to do our last one, which is actually my favorite one. So I'm going to move this one out of our way, and let's bring in our last card. Our last card is this one. I think this one is just spectacular. I like it. So you're going to have 3 Coca-Cola bottles that we're going to fussy cut. You will have 3 melon dots. We're going to have a little sentiment that says, "Hey friend." We're going to have 2 pieces of melon, a dark and a light. You're going to have a little doily. We have a checkered piece. And then we have our card base. Now your card base is already pre-stamped, so this one is predetermined, the directionality. So it's, "Hey friend, you're a culotta fun." Okay, so let's put our plaid piece down first. And that is going to get centered in the center of the white base. So let's put that right in the middle. Just like that. Now we're going to take our doily. Now with the doily, you're only putting a little bit of adhesive in the center. Because if you do it anywhere else, it's going to seep out and it's going to be a real bear. Let's see. I'm going to go like that. And everything else will be on, so it's going to hold things down. So we're going to take our dark and our light, the light piece. will go underneath the dark and it is going to come out. So I'm going to put that piece down first. Like that. Now we're going to put our dark piece down. And we're going to overlap them and put them on a diagonal. We're going to take our Hey Friend and we're going to put some dimension on that. And that is going to be placed towards the bottom of the two melon pieces. And now we're going to take our Coca-Cola bottles and we're going to fussy cut these out. And they're pretty easy to cut out. Now on the sample, I did go over the bottles with liquid glass so that they kind of looked more realistic. You don't need to do that if you don't want to. It's completely up to you. See, we already have one done. We're on the second one now. Two bottles down and we're on to the third. And if you have them all done, you're going to place two on flat, and then the third one will be right in the center, and that is going to be the one that will be on foam or dimensionals. Okay, so I'm going to put some dimensionals on one of mine. Okay, I'm going to start with the two that will be flat. So I'm going to place one coming from the top of the word hey. The second one is going to come over maybe like that. And then our third one will go right in between. Just like so. And now we're going to do our gems. I'm going to do that large one down below the Hey Friend to the right. And then you have a small and a medium. And I am going to place those onto the dark melon piece above the two bottles. Now I am going to show you how I did with the liquid glass. Let's just make sure that it's clean and clear, ready to go. And for this, what I did was I started with one of them maybe. It's something stuck in there. There we go. I didn't do where the cap was, where, you know, right where you would put the cap. So I'm just kind of following around the bottle. I'm filling in the middle. Now I'm going to do that next one. And it just gives it a little more of a realistic feel. Just so you know, ladies, your card classes are up through the month of May. All workshops are up through the month of May. So you can sign up for the things that you were interested in. And then I'm going to do this last one right here. I have a break coming in March, so that is then when I will try to focus on maybe like June, July, and August. See how far I get again. I will have 3 days off for the Arabic holiday called Eid. That'll be in the middle of March, and then I have spring break at the end of March, beginning of April. Okay, that is our last card. And isn't it pretty? It really is. I think it's such a fun card. Who wouldn't want to get something that fun with the liquid glass and all? Okay, so have a super evening. And if you missed any part, this will be left on the Facebook group for a month, and then you'll be able to find it over on YouTube, but I will have it over on YouTube in the next couple of days. Okay, so have a great Friday. Tomorrow will be Friday. Have a super weekend, and please be very careful with all the snow that they're claiming we're getting some more of. All right, so have a good evening. See you on Sunday Fun Day. Good night.